Hi, my name is Selena and welcome to Live Light Well.
Living food, so amazing. Eat life. Hi guys, Selena here. Welcome to Live Light Well. Today I'm just blogging. I wanted to talk about Dr. Sebi and made foods that our creator has made, and what's a little bit about what the difference between that and hybrid foods are. We all know about GMO foods. They're bad for you. But hybrid foods are also. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Dr. Sebi's philosophy around food and alkaline foods. He was an engineer who discovered that the human body was also electric and very similar to a battery or power generator. And so he approached the body as something that required a biomineral balance. So he believed that there are 102 minerals on the planet that our body needs, and iron being a primary one to galvanize all the minerals, cause them to work synergistically in your body. And so he knew our cerebral cortex was copper and our pineal gland was carbon, just like a power generator, and that the energy then flowed throughout the body through the neurological system down the spine. So with that approach, he came up with alkaline foods, just in the same way that an alkaline battery, alkalinity is needed for a battery. So, but I want to go over some of the foods, and then in doing that, I'll also talk about what's in my kitchen, and then we'll talk about his basic philosophy. But I wanted to share him with you. I'm sure a lot of you already know about him, but the reason why he's so important is because he believes in eating original foods only, and these are God-made foods, the original foods that God has created, unadulterated, and I'll go into some of the reasons why those are the best kinds of foods for us to eat. So let's get started. Let's check out my kitchen.
So this is the Dr. Sebi Cell Food list. I'm going to contrast it with naturallifeenergy.com's list. They are among the Sebi enthusiasts and collective who try to maintain the Dr. Sebi food lists. So again, he talks about avoiding the hybridized foods. Hybridizing foods changes their electrical structure, their genetic structure, and pH balance. Here's the list of foods. So there's amaranth greens, wild arugula, avocado, asparagus. See, some things are removed, and this is the list that I look at because sometimes it's removed and sometimes it's added, right? Choyote, Mexican squash, cucumber, dandelion greens, garbanzo beans, cactus flower, and cactus leaf. That's izote. Jamaica was removed. These things come back, they go away, they come back. Lettuce, all except iceberg, mushrooms, mustard greens were removed. Nopales, Mexican cactus, okra, olives, onions. Parsley was removed. I still will use parsley. Poke salad greens were removed. Purslane was added. So these things come and go, I guess, based on testing that he was doing, but unfortunately he's gone now. So squash, spinach was removed. String beans were removed. String beans are a hybrid. Tomato, cherry, and plum. Tomatillo. Oh, I love those. Oh, that goes so well in my if you do my ya soup and you do tomatillos and tomatoes in there. Oh my goodness! And you add some of the chocho, we call it in Jamaica. They call it choyote in Mexico. Watercress was added. Watercress is amazing for stopping tumors. Zucchini, apples, bananas, berries. Now it's only the burro bananas or the tiny ones, not the other ones. They're too high in sugar. These are the original unadulterated bananas. Berries, all varieties. Elderberries in any form. No cranberries, cantaloupe, cherries, currants, dates, figs, grapes, limes, mangoes, melons, seeded. Orange, Seville or sour preferred. Difficult to find. The Seville are very hard to find. Papayas, peaches, pears, plums, prickly pear. I love prickly pear. I have a few juices I make with prickly pear, and as soon as it comes out again, I'm juicing with it because I'm doing a lot of juicing right now. Prunes, raisins, soft jelly coconuts, coconut oil, soursop, sugar apples. Yes, this is see, they removed this, but I use them. What was on the list, I tend to use sometimes. Some people are really sticklers about it. But, you know, some of these things I talked to Dr SEBI about, and she said they're fine, so I'm going with that. Brazil nuts, hemp seed, hazelnuts, and pine nuts were removed. I still use pine nuts. I don't use hazelnuts because I'm allergic to them. They make my tongue itch. Raw almonds and almond butter, that was removed. You can make your own. Raw sesame seeds, tahini butter, walnuts, oils. So olive, coconut, grapeseed, sesame, hemp seed, avocado. So these were added. And you're not to cook with olive oil or coconut oil. Spices, choy out, allspice was removed. I use allspice. Basil, bay leaf, cayenne pepper, cilantro, cloves, coriander, cumin, dill, habanero. Oh, I love habanero pepper. It's so good. Marjoram was removed. Onion powder, oregano, parsley was removed. Again, we already talked about that. Granulated seaweed. All of these things give a wonderful savory flavor. Pure sea salt, sage. Savory was added. Sweet basil was added. Tarragon, thyme, and then the sugar is agave syrup from cactus. I don't like agave. It's way too sweet for me. Dried dates, sugar. I often, if I'm making a cereal, I just throw in a dried date, and a fig, and that will sweeten like a whole big bowl or like one single serving of quinoa porridge. So maple sugar from dried maple syrup. These two were removed. You know, I live in Canada. We can get pure maple syrup here, and we can get it from local people, so I trust it. Ma Sebi said that black rice is fine, and it's high in nutrients and protein. She said to keep it. Onio was added. I haven't tried that yet. Kamut, quinoa, rye, spelt, teff, wild rice. I love rye too. And you can actually do raw wild rice, certain brands. You can just soak them in water and they taste like they're cooked 24 hours later. These are the herbal teas. I'm not a big tea person. Chamomile, burdock, fennel, ginger, although I love fennel. Tila, red raspberry, lemongrass. And ginger, of course, I love. Here's, again, the list. And so then this list also goes into what the herbs too. The ones, burdock root cleanses the liver. It's a diuretic. So I use burdock root every day. I have burdock root. Bladderwrack, dandelion, I have that every day as well. I wildcraft elderberry, sea moss, Irish moss, sarsaparilla.
Let's check out my kitchen. So here are the burro bananas. I call them box bananas because they're box shaped. They're square and they're very alkaline. I don't really like bananas, but I like these bananas and I like the baby bananas. And then I've got the plum tomatoes and some limes. Those are definitely Sebi. I've heard from people, you know, in various places that you can have the clementine oranges. They're not on the Sebi Cell Food. I've seen them on other Sebi lists. And of course, this is a walnut, black walnut from a walnut tree. That's definitely Sebi. Moving right along. Here's my fridge. These are the ideal limes that Sebi likes to see, and these are the key limes. So they're the most alkaline. Purple, I got fennel in here. Obviously, I've got some young coconut, which I've been drinking a lot of young coconuts lately. Here is my Irish moss and nori soup. Here is my sweet tamarind. So I make a tamarind juice from that by just boiling it on the stove or pouring boiling water on it. And so I've got a number of boxes of these that I make tamarind juice out of. You can watch some of my videos on fasting liquids. Here, this is burdock root. The burdock root provides a lot of the vitamins that are in, or the iron that's in products like banju. But I think banju is mostly elderberries. Oyster mushrooms here, and some brown mushrooms. These are kind of drying out. That's why they look a little bit yellow, but it's just that they're dry. There's nothing wrong with them. And portobello mushrooms and regular brown mushrooms. So I'll make broth with them. Here is some chana flour, and so that's chickpea flour. Radicchio, which is a nice bitter kind of lettuce, and I've got cilantro. I've got cucumber, English cucumber. Cucumber is highly recommended by him. And here is okra.
Red and yellow peppers.
So I tend to juice those. Organic romaine lettuce. So I tend to juice that a lot. Of course, kale. My favorite is purple kale. I love this greenish purple kale. So I love to make kale chips from that. I love to juice it. I put it in soups, broths. This is the choyote. So this is the Mexican squash, which I love to cook with. It goes so well with okra. You know, I always look at PolitiFest for and here we have endive. I look at PolitiFest. I have a playlist of Sebi recipes, and PolitiFest is my favorite because she has so many. And the Sebi apples, they grow tons of apples in BC. BC has all variety of apples, so I'm really grateful for that. Here I've got ginger. There's basil, thyme, my absolute favorite herb. I love thyme and sage together with a bay leaf. The beautiful bay leaves. Here I have quinoa. I just happened to get this at Costco for really cheap, but I like red or black quinoa is really the best. Okay, and so here are my chickpeas. Now I always make sure I get organic ones and very fresh ones. These cook really nicely and quickly. They soften. You barely have to soak them because they're organic. Now here's amaranth. You could use that to make a tabbouleh salad. You could make that into a cereal in the morning, like a porridge. You could also use it in the same way you would quinoa, although quinoa is about probably 4 times the size. Here is my nori. I get this from a Japanese organic store, and this is a really super high quality nori. And so it's pressed down into these sheets, and then I grind it up and put it in my soups. Here's some of my nut bags for making nut juices. Spelt flour. See, I've made this seasoning salt. You can look up this recipe on my site. And I had put in Himalayan pink salt, but you are supposed to use sea salt with Sebi. Smoky paprika, which is one of the seasonings we can use, is paprika. And then I have a mixture of dried onions, minced onions, and powdered. Here's some cumin, is a nice spice that we can use. More bay leaf. Here's organic oregano. So if I've run out of ginger or I'm too lazy to cut up more ginger, this is great because it's dried ginger and you just grind it into your soup or whatever it is that you're making. This is my powdered vanilla. So I use that for sweetening stuff. This is allspice. It's one of the things suggested for tea. I like to cook with it. It's a true West Indian spice and it makes everything super savory. So when you have the umami flavors of the sea seasoning salt, which I use I'll use about 3 of the Sebi seaweeds. And then you put in some of the allspice, the pimento seeds, in a soup or a stew. It just makes it super savory. Grapeseed oil for cooking. This is a really lovely oil. It's artesian oil. I have sesame oil. Here's my avocado oil for cooking, sesame oil, organic, cold pressed, unfiltered, extra virgin oil, coconut oil.
Here in my freezer, I have this President's Choice Power Fruit Blend, which is amazing. It's what I make the banana, bumble cherry, lime, orange sauce out of.
Super yummy, fair trade, organic. Sesame tahini butter here. I put that in a lot of dressings. I often have it in every dressing because I just love the nutty, savory flavor. It makes everything taste super savory, and it goes so well with all the seaweed stuff. About Dr. Sebi, Sebi is a world-renowned herbalist that has cured many pathologies with his holistic approach to nutrition and herbs over the last 50 years. He's formulated the African bio-mineral herbal products that cleanse and nourish the body on a cellular level. His products, in conjunction with his nutritional guides, support the body's natural ability to regenerate and heal. Dr. Sebi has proven his protocols can reverse that. He believes that the root cause of all disease is mucus. Thus, disease manifests in the body where mucus has accumulated. Disease only lives in an acidic environment, and Dr. Sebi has created protocols that include African biomineral products and nutritional changes. His products help cleanse the body by extracting mucus. They nourish the body by providing minerals and nutrients on a cellular level. The nutritional guide promotes an alkaline environment in the body to support the healing process and achieve optimum health. He chooses to use God-made original foods only. And this is important to those people who don't know about Dr. Sebi, who are looking to live a godly lifestyle. God is very clear in the Bible about not mixing things. There are scriptures about not mixing seed, not mixing the seed of the Israelites with the seed of the people who are non-Israelites.
Okay, let me find you something on my page. Live Light Well. This is before I was doing Sebi, so these are not Sebi foods. Okay, so under meals, I have this article. GMOs are against the natural order of creation. Every plant that my Heavenly Father has not planted will be rooted up. So here's some scriptures that are against GMO foods, but also hybridization. You are to keep my statutes. You are not to breed together two kinds of your cattle. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seeds, nor wear a garment upon you with two kinds of material mixed together. That's Leviticus 19:19. You shall not, Deuteronomy 22:9, you shall not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of the vineyard be defiled. Okay, defiled. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, such as woolen or linen together. This is how important food. God prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. Food, again, that's how important it is. And now here is Jasher that talks about, and now I'm reading all of the Apocrypha. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth and beasts of the fields and fowl of the air, and taught the mixture of animals of one species with another, in order therewith to provoke the Lord. And God saw the whole earth corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. And then this is for GMOs. I said GMOs stop life from reproducing after its own kind, violating Genesis 1:22. Now here's another scripture. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, herb that yields seed, and the fruit of the tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in and of itself on the earth. And it was so, and the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So God likes something to produce after its own kind. So GMOs, I say here, are literally far worse because they add a completely foreign gene. You can read this article again. It's on my website, and it's at the bottom of the page. I've kind of hidden it under Eat Well, under Meals. So Eat Well and Meals is how you find it.
Dr. Sebi really emphasizes the original foods that God created, because we are electrical. Then he emphasizes alkaline foods, because alkaline foods help a battery run the best, or a power generator to run the best. Now, some people think that that's acid, like you have battery acid. But Sebi's belief is that God has not created anything acidic for our bodies, only alkaline, because The reason why you get mucus in the body is when the cell membrane gets ruptured, and that's from acid. So the cell membrane is broken into, and then the cells weaken. Jesuit priest Gregor Mendel created a lot of the foods that we eat today, like carrots, sweet potatoes. These were all invented foods, and they were invented by the Jesuits. And the Jesuits were basically black ops of the Catholic Church. And so all of these beans and stuff that they created, the only bean you get to have on Sebi's diet is chickpeas. Everything else is acidic and too high in sugar.
Hybrid foods are not good because they're missing a lot of vital electrics. They're unnatural and they're high in sugar and starch, and they're devoid of proper mineral balance that all wild foods contain. So when we eat a lot of hybrid fruit and vegetables that lead to mineral deficiencies, they cause the body to bring heavy minerals from the bones into the blood to buffer the sugar. So then that makes your bones brittle. And then this sugar isn't really recognized by the liver and the pancreas. So the minerals and sugar are then spilled off into the urine. So hybrid sweet fruit and starchy vegetables can overstimulate you and cause you to lose minerals. And because they're taken out of their natural context, then they won't assimilate into the body properly, and instead they tend to store as a toxin. And then they also damage the mucous membranes. They also feed fungal conditions like candida, whereas non-hybrid fruit or wild fruit will not lead to candida. 99% of the food available to us today are hybrid, high in starch, sugar, and carry traces of cyanide in them. 50% of these hybrids are more detrimental than others.
Sugar is the most acidic thing you can put into your body. Sugar, starch. So the grains that he emphasizes, like the amaranth, the kamut, the spelt, the teff, all of these are alkaline grains, and I find that when I eat them, they don't have as much gluten in them as wheat. I don't find that I really suffer much from them as when I eat something, for example, that has wheat in it. So, yeah, that it's a good kind of biblical and scriptural basis for eating in a godly way, and also the herb of the field, the fruit of the trees, and the seed thereof are supposed to be meat for us. For me personally, I don't have anything against eating meat. If you caught it, you killed it yourself, and you drain the blood from it properly, and you're not eating any fat, you just can't trust what stores give you. You cannot. And it gets really deep and really ugly as to what people suspect is in hamburgers and store-bought meat and all kinds of things. We really don't know what we're eating. We honestly don't. You can't tell me that you do. So it's safest to just stay health-wise with a plant-based diet, and it works best with our bodies regardless. So I have a Sebi alkaline playlist of some of my favorite recipes and of some of my own. Do please be careful to read the notes or look in the pull down if there's any caveats or changes or things that you need to take out or make sure that are there. But one of my favorite, actually my favorite Sebi chef is PolitiFest. And so I have a lot of her stuff in the playlist, and it's because she makes a lot of kind of West Indian food. So that's for me what I call home food. So she gets all those wonderful flavors in there that I just love. So anyway, yeah, that's my talk on Dr. Sebi. I would love to talk more about the cell and the mucus in the body and disease, but I have a lot of other videos that talk about that. And please check out my videos on bioresonance and the body, like electrical therapies.
Foods control the acid level in the body, which protects against harmful mucus buildup that compromises organs and leads to the development of disease. So along with the diet, he uses alkaline herbs that clean the body's cells on an intercellular level. So it helps to detoxify and strengthen the cells, like I said. Again, he says that disease can only exist in an acidic environment, and that's what compromises the mucous membrane. Mucus is always causing the issue. So in the case of bronchitis, for example, then a compromised mucous membrane in the lungs will cause lung problems. Compromised mucous membrane in the joints will cause joint problems. Sebi uses traditional healing herbs like burdock root, sarsaparilla, dandelion,
which clean the blood and clean the liver. And I juice dandelion. I showed you I had dandelion in the fridge. So he suggests that you drink plenty of spring water,
because the body consists of 70% water.
And water helps to remove waste from the body. It cushions the joints and organs, and it
assists in the absorption of nutrients. And he really says don't microwave. Absolutely.
If you're somebody who's interested in health or in the health movement at all, you get rid of your microwave. I never use a microwave. It actually alters food and the molecules in food
to the point of it being unrecognizable as compared to anything else on this planet. It doesn't look like it came from this planet after you microwave it. It's like foreign. So you just don't microwave your food, just like you don't microwave your head with your cell phone. It's the same thing, basically.
And I am consulting right now with Dr SEBI, and so I do make my own almond milk. I do use almonds. Sebi took them off the list because he said that they had arsenic in the almond milk. But if you make your own almond milk, you don't need to worry about that. But I believe he was concerned about a high amount of arsenic in the actual almonds themselves. But you know, now unfortunately he's gone. God rest his soul. But you know, we've got to start making these choices for ourselves based on, I really strongly suspect that he would look at and research what was currently going on in the market. So that means if we are looking at the foods that we're eating, we need to know they're coming from a clean source. We need to be sensitive with our taste buds and our senses that God gave us in terms of figuring out what we're going to eat. So this is my whole message on Yah-made foods, God-made foods, and Dr. SEBI. And I hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And don't forget to eat well, eat life. And we'll see you in the next one.